Hello guys, we are so back. GGG just announced in 3.26, you no longer lost your AG gears when it dies, which means we no longer have to put so many resources on minion defense. You can put all the resource to minion damage and won't get punishment. I'm so happy about it. I can foresee there will be a lot of AG builds in 3.26. Okay, so today I would like to introduce how to league start Chains of Command in a low budget version. You can start this build with only 50 Chaos Orb and follow my upgrade process step by step to eventually become a powerful Blight map AFK farmer. If you don't know what is Blight map yet, check my last video. Okay, so first, how this build works. Our main skill is Enmity Guardian. It's a minion skill that just like Mercenary. You can give equipment and weapons to it. And its damage is based on the weapon you give to him. So if you have a big weapon and equipped to your Guardian, it can deal huge damage. And next is our core item, Chains of Command. It's a unique chest that for every time your enemy Guardian kills an enemy, it will trigger an elemented weapon automatically. So the weapon on your Guardian will become an elemented weapon, just like this. So you can have up to 14 weapons, which means if you give a great weapon to your Guardian, then eventually you will have 15. But there is a limitation that you cannot have any non-animated minions. But there is also a limitation that all your animated minions will have a free melee splash skills on it. Our Ascendancy use Necromancer. You should begin with Commander of Darkness to get you and your minions increased damage and elemental resist. Then progress to Mindless Aggression. Then is Unnatural Strength. Our minions will all have Unholy Might. This is great in league start because all the physical damage will convert to chaos damage, which means you no longer need to care about physical reflection and elemental reflection. And also it is a damage boost that we can apply Despair Curse, and it also has the Wither on it. And last, we choose the Bone Barrier. This is our core Ascendancy that it gives a lot of minion defense, and most important, the damage dealt by your minion is leached to you as life, which means we can do no regen map, and we can still have the life regen. So with Bone Barrier and Unholy Might, all the map is Orc and Gold. We don't need to care what mod we roll on it. About how to level in this build, because Chains of Command require character level 73 to equip all the unique items we need. So at the beginning, during campaign, we use SRS for leveling, and it will combo with some Carrion Golem and Race Factory. For auras, we use Haste, Vitality, and Determination. And we use Flame Dash for movement speed, and Flash Archery for DPS buff. For leveling tree, I made a process that from Act 1 to Act 10, then eventually swap to Chains of Command in level 73. When you reach level 73 and above 50 chaos, then you are ready to swap to Chains of Command. So about the weapons, you need minion damage and minion critical strike chance, and then craft bench for a minion attack speed. You can craft this one by Essence of Fear. And next is use a minion shield with minion damage and minion critical strike chance. I would suggest to directly buy on the market. It should not be too expensive. And next is one of our core items, Ancient's Cool. This will reduce the minion life but give it more movement speed. It also will apply maximum power charge you have to your minion. So the more maximum power charge you have, the more critical strike chance will apply to your minions. And your minions can hear the Whisper for 5 seconds after deal a critical strike. The Whisper is a buff that will give your minion more attack speed and damage, while it will take a chaos damage over time. So, which means we have to cap our minion chaos resist. And next is our core item, Chains of Command. And remember, you only need 6 socket on this chest. You don't need the 6 link, which means in league start we can sell all the fusing orb to the market. And That is really a good advantage. For the glove, we just take life and resist. Remember, you can use craft bench to get a chaos resist. For the boot, we just take life, movement speed, and the state or resist you need. For the amulet, we use Hero's Truth. The reason we take this amulet is we need dex, a lot of dex. Then the level 30 precision skill with the efficiency is also good. Remember, we don't need the global critical strike multiplier. It will not apply to your minions. So with a low roll, this amulet should be very cheap. And for the ring, all we need is resistance and life. And yeah, and remember to use ring to cap your chaos resist. We have to cap all our resist to 75. Also the chaos resist. And for the build, you can use build to get more state and also the life. For flask, we will use Witchfire build. This will give us a free Despair Curse aura during effect. And this is our only way to apply curse during AFK, so that's quite important. And for other flask, just use some defense flask like armor and lightning resist. And basically, I use flask to cap all my resist. And also, you can use flask to get more chaos resist. And for the jewel socket, we will use Abyss Jewel. Remember to buy Ghastly Eye with minion attack speed, and T1 or T2 minion chaos or physical damage. This should be around 10 chaos in average, but hope the price will not affected by this video. And we need a lot of jewels with the same state. And last, we use a cluster jewel, minion cluster, with Feasting Fins and Vicious Bite to get minion leech and minion critical strike chance and multi. Okay, so that's all the gears we need. And next is our AG. For our AG, at first, in the low budget, we use the 10 minutes. This weapon gives us huge physical damages, and because we have Unholy Might, so the damage will convert it to chaos. And it has high critical strike chance, and also will give free frenzy charge on minion critical strike. For AG helmet, we use their cast to grant a 50% increased damage buff. For the body armor, I use Carcass Suck. You can also use Beast Belly. This is also a cheap alternative, and it works really well. For the glove, you must use the Grave Bind. The nearby enemy skills will count as be killed by your AG, so the chance of command will trigger the empty weapon. This is a must-have item. This glove is usually cost about 30 chaos in the start. Last, about boots, I use Wake of Destructions. It will drop shock ground while moving, so the enemies will affected by shock to taking more damage. Once you collect all the items for AG and for your characters, then you can swap to Chance of Command. I think those gears will cost about 50 or slightly more chaos in the start. Okay, so next part is our passive tree. The tree we will use the Grave Intention to give our minion chaos resist. And because we are using the Ancient School helmet, so we need to cap our minion chaos resist to overcome the chaos dot damage. And also Indomitable Army to give our minion more physical reduction and elemental resist, and to also make them immune to bleeding. Then we will get some mana mastery for reservation efficiency, and the caster mastery to open nearby chest when you cast a spell. This caster mastery is only for blighted map farming, because in blighted map we have so many rewarding chests, and this caster allows you to open all chests at once to save you tons of time. Then we take Enduring Bond to increase minion durations. Otherwise, your enemy weapons will not that long. And we take Grave Impact for minion accuracy and deals double damage. Then we open a big cluster for feeding and vicious bite. Then we take the devotions for increased life and more damage node, and also to get more mana reservation efficiency. Then purity of flesh to get life and chaos resist. Then last is to get more minion crit strike chance and multi. I think this is quite a very straightforward tree. Then for skills, for chance of command, you only need to put 6 support gen on your body armor. All the support gens will apply to your animated weapon, and we use multi-strike, minion damage, ruthless, increased critical damage, wearing touch, and added chaos damage. Remember, you don't need 6 link, you only need 6 socket. And next is our enemy guardian. We will give minion life and elemental army to give more maximum elemental receipt for our guardian. And last is feeding frenzy. It will give us a 10% more DPS buff. And for aura, we use haste, determination, and vitality. If you have budget, then you can buy an enlightened and replace vitality to Arctic armor. Arctic armor will give you extra physical reduction and fire reduction while stationary, because we are AFK players, which means it will give us many defenses. And for the automation setup, I personally use Face Run and Molten Shield. Face Run is just to get more movement speed, and Molten Shield give us more defenses. And we also use Flank Dash as movement skill. This setup is basically for mapping. And we use Spirit Offering as DPS buff. And the Stone Bite. When it combined with the caster mastery, we use this skill to open all the chests at once. Okay, so with this setup and level 73, let's see how many DPS we can have. To calculate the animated guardian DPS, the process is you choose the main skill to your animated weapon, and you have to choose your AG's gear at here. So it will calculate each of your animated weapons according to your AG's gear, and our DPS is about 500,000 on each weapon. And remember, we have 14 animated weapons, and you can also calculate it in the tag. You can use this tag to include your animated weapon into 4 DPS, and we have 14 weapons. So in total, we will have about 7 million DPS at level 73, which is really insane. In this stage, we already have enough DPS to complete all the non-Uber endgame content. Like you can farm in to red map D16 and kill non-Uber bosses, and also doing red blight map. Okay, so next part I will introduce how to upgrade to AFK in a red blight map. It will cost about 20 devices for the following upgrade. Okay, so first, you should upgrade your amulet. Your amulet, we will turn to use the Juanitos Vault. It will give your body armor 1 extra link, which means we can use an additional support gen to give us 35% more damage. Then, for the build, you can upgrade to Darkness in Throne. This will give us 2 additional Abyss sockets with 90% increased effect. So it is literally 4 additional Abyss Jewel. It will give us about 20% more damage. And next part will be our AG gear. The AG gear, we only change the weapon. We will upgrade our weapons to Paradoxica. Paradoxica is the best weapon before Void Forge. It will always deal double damage, which means all the Abyss Jewel, those chaos damage, they will be doubled. And for the prefix, you can choose increased physical damage or chaos penetrations. Either are working, and the DPS will be the same. And for the shield, we can use Victorious Charity. It will give us free power charge and free fancy charge. Okay, then is the tree. About the tree, when we have budget, we usually already level to level 90. And for level 90, we just open additional cluster jewel with the Sand Feasting Fin and Vicious Bite. And then we will try to open as much jewel socket as possible. So we basically will open about 10 jewel socket in this stage. And all the socket we will staking the same Abyss jewel with flat chaos or physical damage and the minion attack speed. Okay, so that is all the upgrade we have. And I think that will cost about 10 to 20 device depending on market price. Okay, so let's see how many DPS we have now. Okay, so each our amenity weapon now has 1.6 million DPS, and which means in total with 14 minions, then the current DPS is about 24 minions, which should be enough to AFK in a T16 blighted map. And you can compare your AG gear to see the upgrade. As you can see, if we still use the Terminus Tiger Sword, then we only have 17 million DPS. But once we upgrade to Paradoxica, then we will get 50% more damage to reach almost 24 million. Okay, in this stage, we are ready to enter the T16 blind map with no tower AFK. And during the AFK, the bandit quest I will use Aria for extra elemental resist, because we use too much unique item, so we are very need the elemental resistance. And during the AFK, because some monsters they will have elemental penetration or curse on hit, so usually I will prepare more resist over the maximum. Like I will prepare 100 resist on each resistance and also cap the chaos resist. And for the minor god, we will always use the Aberoth to not unaffected by Burning Ground. And for the major god, it's up to you. Personally, I will choose Arakali to reduce the damage over time. Okay, I think that's all the content for the low budget version. And the next upgrade will be very high budget. We will stay in this stage until we can afford Void Forge. So that will cost extra 100 to 150 device. If you only want to play a casual red map Blight Farmer, then you can stop at this stage. Okay, so that's all the content for today. In next video, I will proceed to introduce how to upgrade this build and how to craft some of our rare items. Hope you enjoy the content for today. I will put this POB in the comment. See you next time.